Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone had a blessed day. This was an amazing day for me for one really particular reason. I'm just thankful God allowed this day to be, and it's really a blessing to me because today is my mother's birthday. Today is my mother's birthday, and I am so excited about having her still here for me to call and go see and to love and cherish. So I just give thanks to God for everything that He's done in my life, but that was one of the biggest blessings I've ever received with my mom. My mom turned 89 years old today. My mother turned 89 years old. I lost a lot of friends. And I've had a lot of people, family members, and everything to go on. But I just think that it's amazing when you have to see somebody live that full life like that. And I just thank God for her. So, the other day I had the opportunity, I was singing to some people and clowning around, but I have to do this. We celebrated with my mom today. God is good, I thank Him. Man, that was amazing. I have a beautiful family. I do. I have a beautiful family. And sometimes I think I take that for granted. I do, but I just want to say, Mom, I love you so much, and I just, even this morning when I woke up and I was like, God, you gave me another opportunity to be a blessing to some people because I knew I was going to come on, but also you gave me that blessing that my mother is still here, and she's just a beautiful woman. So, happy birthday to ya, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you so much. Thank you for being the woman that you are. You are the queen of my life. And I just cherish you, and I appreciate you and everything you've done for me. And for every individual who still have their mother, always treat them with love and respect. And those who have lost your moms, know that for real, they're not gone. They still live in your heart and your memories. And you will see them again when you move on, when your day comes. Because that's one thing that's going to happen to all of us. We all will all move on to that other side. And I know a lot of you talking about it's going to be roads and paved with gold and all that. Well, I don't know, but I just know in my heart that as long as I keep God first, that somehow or another I'm going to find some peace within my journey when I pass on. So, hey, Ma, I love you again. I thank you so much for just being the mother you've been to me and my siblings and to my nephews and nieces, my children, my grandchildren. You have been amazing, and seeing all my family today, it just was amazing because I have some beautiful people in my family. I love my family. Sometimes, I sit back and I get a little mad because I don't get them to call or support me or bring me a gift or cook a dinner for me or just call and say, hey, I was checking on you, whatever the case may be. But what I do know is that when it's necessary for all of us to come together, we seem to do it, and then I just see the beauty of them, and now I see why I do what I do. I am blessed truly by the best. Today, my topic is really basically it's about writing. It's about motivation, being motivated. I have some really special guests that's going to be tuning in shortly. And I need to ask you have Charles' number, correct? Yes. Yeah, okay. All right. So I have this brother is an amazing brother. You know, I'm gonna just give you just a little bit about him. His name is Charles Curry, Sir Charles Curry, and I want Charles to know that also that I'm known as Sir Rod as well. So I understand that Sir part. That's something of some quality, right? That's something of some dignity, and so I just want to say share that with you. But Charles is an author. He's a motivational speaker. He's also a man who's lived a life and then I would say recovered from the life to make a better life. I just really, the other day when I was talking to him, I had to tell him how I felt inspired just by getting the opportunity to speak with him. And then I started checking into his history. I was like, oh my God, man, this brother, he's an amazing man. And as I say, that's important. But before I go and have him come on, it's something else I need to share with you. So people to people, power to power, positive thinking people, right? So this is something that I had wrote up a while back, and this is, because I've been doing this for a while, as far as the productions, I've been doing that, and but this was something that I wrote, and I want to share it with you. People to people. People are those who care and want to see others do well. A child learns from those who are leaders, like mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, teachers, preachers, mayors, and the police, and the list can go on. We all play a part in the way our communities are developed. If we have good programs encouraging people to support each other, then we will see our children do well. Life is what you make it, but we all need some help along the way. If a child, teenager, or young adult don't know the right choices to make, then they will make a lot of mistakes. We the people have to look around and support those who are trying to make a difference in our community. Anything that will put your youth in a safe environment is good for all of us. I wrote this a while back as I was sending stuff out, people to people, okay? Power to power. Power to power are the community's base for business, churches, schools, recreation centers, local communities, official leaders, and the media. The power to teach someone is great. The power to lead someone is better. The power to make a change is a gift that we all have in us. We the people are the power in itself, and when a person is given a chance to show their talents or to show their talents to others, they receive a sense of power that feels good to have, and they then want to share that with everyone. Our country had the power to make a big difference in the world, but somehow it seems to have gone wrong. We the people have the power to make things right. We just need to support the powers around us. Our children, our future leaders and programs. When we ignore negative powers around us like drugs, gangs, and lack of support for our communities, we open the doors for all kinds of trouble. And we have no one to blame except ourselves. With the power we possess, we can share it and make things better for everyone. Again, that's something that I was sharing in a package that I was sending out. And then let me read this last one, positive thinking people. Positive thinking people can be anyone and everyone. Each human being has something positive about them. In many cases, people have trouble staying positive because of their surrounding. If we see negative attitudes and negative people all the time, then thinking positive will be a problem. We, the leaders of our homes, schools, churches, business, and community-based services, should always want to support anything positive. We may not look at it in that manner, but the more positive support we give, the better our homes, schools, churches, and business and community-based services will be for all of us. It is a known fact that positive thinking people attract other positive thinking people. With that said, let us be a positive force for those who need us and give them positive support that's needed. Phototiming Production believes that anything you can conceive, you can achieve. We are positive thinking people trying to make a difference in our communities with a positive attitude. Again, that was something that I wrote a while back, and I just wanted to share that so you'd understand that I really believe in people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. I would like to welcome Bernard Jackson, Rachel Pope, Lynn Nelson, Arthur Carletta, Lisby, and Kim Thornton, Eric Jennings, my cousin, my brother, love you. Missy Carter, Danielle Bryce, Malik, my brother from Baltimore, D. Harris, my brother from New York, G Money. Welcome. So, again, I am excited, and I'm not going to keep rattling off because I'm really anxious to get this brother Charles on so he can share some information and let us see where we're going. I'm just excited. Again, happy birthday, Mom. I know, man, all of us have our mothers, our queen, man, and some of us, our mothers are gone. But, I just want to say God is good, and I give him glory. We're getting ready to get Mr. Sir Charles Curry on the line, and then following that, I'm also I got two other individuals that's going to be coming on. One of them I grew up with. She's an amazing author herself. Quite a few people will be not surprised, but you will be proud to know that she's doing what she's doing, and she's been an inspiration in my life. So again, what I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to bring Mr. Sir Charles to the program, and we're gonna get some powerful information and learn about this powerful brother. And so I'm sure Mr. Sir Charles Curry, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I am grateful, sir. I am grateful.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed to have your presence today.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you having me on your program.
First of all, I told you the other day, it's men like you that inspire me, that makes me feel comfortable to continue to reach out to people when I know that there's other men out there who really care, who claim the title as my brother's keeper and my sister's keeper. And I got into your background, man, and I was just amazed at the things that you have accomplished.
Well, I'll be quite honest with you. I appreciate the accolades, but it's not me. It's what God has laid out for me, and not claiming to be a preacher or anything like that. But I think we all are disciples of various types. So I'm just trying to do my part to make a difference.
That is so cool. So could you just tell a little bit about yourself, please?
Well, I'm originally from New York City, and my focus used to be music. I still love it, but I had to make a decision. I say had to make a decision because I was at a fork in the road, and I had to determine whether it was more important to continue in the entertainment or to walk a path that would entail sharing a message and inspiring, empowering, and encouraging others to become the best versions of themselves. And in doing so, I think I made the right decision for a couple of reasons. One, I had no regret. Two, I was comfortable in that space. And three, like many of us, I am a professional failure. And I think a lot of people that sit before me, stand before me, or that hear my stories, they can identify with that.
Okay, so now when you say billiard, can you break that down for me?
Oh, when I say what, sir?
Would you say you consider yourself a professional billiard?
Oh, a professional failure.
Oh, failure. Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. I tell people all the time that I went to the School of Hard Knocks and that I graduated from Rick's University.
Well, you know, that's probably what I was telling some people the other day, that in many cases you'll find a drunk or a drug addict or somebody who's been to jail, made some mistakes, that when you talk to them, they can give you the best knowledge because they experienced it firsthand. And we got a lot of people who think that they get all the information by going to college and reading books all the time. That is good. I'm not saying that that's not what you want to do, because you definitely want to get that education.
Yes, sir.
But I tell you, one of the things that I know is when you have dealt with it firsthand, it's nothing like it when you share it with somebody else and you can tell them that you've been there and you understand how they feel. It's almost like many times I've talked to people. Today is my mother's birthday. And
happy birthday to your mom.
Yeah, thank you so much. 89 years old. And
wow.
Which is a blessing. But sometimes I'll bring up my mom, and then somebody say, well, my mom is gone, has passed on. And one of the things that I learned not to say was, oh man, I know how that feels, or, you know, try to console them, because I don't know, because I haven't experienced it, because she's still here. So I said that to say, you know, it's hard for us to be put in positions where we can tell somebody or something if you never experienced it before. But when you have went through it and then overcome it, then that's the powerful story that you want to be sharing with people.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
So when you said that you are Hard Knocks, do you have a problem with sharing your story on some of the things that you did?
Oh, no, not at all. I believe that it's important to be transparent, because if you want to help people, again, you want to relate to them, you want to identify with them, but you want to let them understand that the struggle is real, and that if you've been a part of that struggle, you sharing how you've gone from point A to point B and moving forward, it's important that they understand what that path looks like, what it sounds like, how difficult it was or wasn't. And I don't have any problem whatsoever. I can share this. Excuse me. That again, I said I went to the School of Hard Knocks, and you know, I kept messing up, and it took me almost, I'll say, about 40 years before I could really understand what it was that I was doing wrong. And the major thing that I was doing wrong was being a people pleaser. You know, I wanted to fit in. And there's this saying they have that say, why are you trying so hard to fit in when it's obvious you were designed to stand out? And
hey, say that again. Please say that again.
No, really, many of us, we try so hard to fit in when it's obvious we were designed to stand out.
How about that?
And the thing about that is that it does feel different standing out. It's supposed to feel different standing out. You may even feel a little bare. You may even feel that little breeze that makes you cold and makes you shiver because you're not around a lot of people. But that standing out is designed for a reason. You know, it happens for a reason, and the reason is because you are different. You're thinking different. You're deciding differently. Your direction and your course of direction is intended to be a different course because you're going somewhere that many other people won't go, can't go, and don't understand the benefit of being in that space. So when I realized that my course of direction was off, I had to get my navigation together. I looked down at my children. I had 3 children. I looked at 2 of them at the time. They were very young, and they were so full of life, and they always were pulling on me to, you know, play with them and to engage them. And it broke my heart that the life I was living was so foul. It was so corrupt. That was so wasteful, if you will. And I made a decision on that moment that I needed to change. I knew that if anything needed to change, it was me.
Okay, and I'm gonna kind of be interjecting just here and there because I want the listeners to know when we talking about making change in your life and doing things to follow your dreams. It's a lot of us that will start following our dreams a little too late. So that's why I was saying the other day, don't follow your dreams, get in front of them. Make a difference and make them happen so that you'll be able to see where you're supposed to be, because there's a lot of us supposed to be in positions of leadership and showing different people how to go about it, especially when it's people that you see them find some success in the things that they love to do.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir, absolutely.
Now, you also you're an author as well, correct?
Yes, I am.
So how many books have you written?
I've written 7 books, and currently I am promoting 4 books which happen to be in line as a series. It's called the Radiate the Brain book series.
Okay. And that book is basically, is that a book that's helping individuals in development and changing their life habits and processing things that they do on a daily basis to make them a little more successful in life?
Yeah, it's 4 books in particular, and they're designed for personal and professional development. I'll put them in the order that they should be in versus the order they were written in. The first book, I always tell people, what's so hard about being you? The right mindset is all you need. That book is definitely good for the person that's really trying to make a shift in their life and, realize who they are and what they have to offer. The next book is called, from the same series, it's called Radiate the Brain and Change the Game, Finding the Cure for Cancer in Your Business and Existence. And the reason it's called that is because there's so many things that try to hold us back, and sometimes it really may be a disease like cancer, but sometimes it's cancerous people. So we have to learn how to overcome those challenges from people that are holding us back, people that are trying to do harm to us, or sometimes even habits that we have developed. The next book is called Radiate the Brain and Change the Game, Aligned by Design, linked in to your legacy. And that's about really realizing that everyone has a gift, a skill, a talent, or an ability, and it's up to you to tap into that. The problem is that many people don't look for it, and they don't know how to get out of their own way so that they can identify with it, connect it, mold it, breathe life into it, and make it a thing, a something.
I like that.
And the final book, I've written that book for, I would say, the cancer community or people that are going through life struggles as it relates to health challenges. It's called Radiate the Brain Cancer to Cured.
Say that again, because somehow it blinked out. What is the name of it?
After the diagnosis, from crack to cancer to cured.
So I'm listening to some of the things you said, and I just want the listeners to know. First of all, it's sometimes, and keep your thought. Don't lose your train of thought. Sometimes I sit here and I have people who tune in, and I don't want them to get bored because I don't have the physical person here. We're working on that. We're getting ready to get some other things set up where we'll be a little more with technology, where we'll be able to even probably have the individuals on the television so you'll be able to see them. So I appreciate everybody that hangs in there with me. And I want them to listen and take this opportunity with the guests that I bring on, that sharing their life stories and this information, and know that it's important that you hear, not all the time what you see, but what you're hearing, that you take it and you have it, that you cipher through it so that it help identify some of the things that you need to work on. And I just like when you was talking about your books, how you were just talking about the different things for people to be able to find out who they are, what they are, and to help them move forward.
Yes, sir.
So when you started doing the writing and everything, was it hard for you to change the direction of your life?
Well, it was and wasn't. The issue was that I was a substance abuser. For over 25 years of my life, I did almost every drug you could think of except for intravenous drugs. And the day that I made that shift was because of that totality of that negative lifestyle and all the things that I was doing. So when I finally got myself clean from drugs, I said, wow, I should help other people by telling them about what I went through. I started, and I got writer's block because I'd never written a book before. However, I did start. It was easy to start because I've written songs, I've written poems, so I knew how to write, but structure I did not understand. So after I got stuck, I continued to find my way in circles with other speakers like my mentor, Dr. Willie Jolly, and Paulo Les Brown, of course, and many others. And one day, Dr. Jolly saw me at a conference, and he said, you're singing, you're in movies, you're doing poetry, you need to tell your story. And I said, wow. And I went back to revisit that first attempt to write a book, and it just all came to me. You know, I wrote the second book. It became an Amazon bestseller. And then I went on a reality show. I went and wrote another book. And then I wrote another one. And it became a natural flow. And here's the thing about writing. If you've ever written more than once, more than twice, you know that it can be very therapeutic.
Yes.
And that's one of the joys of writing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. I think I still have. This will actually be my first book if I complete it. But it's called 504 Payne Street, and it's about my life dealing with abuse, love, survival, and recovery. And one of the things when I was writing it, I found myself that I was able to deal with a lot of things because I was bringing it out and putting it on paper. And so that was really, really powerful. So with a lot of the individuals who I know who are out there, one of the things that I think, and just my opinion, if you got some dreams, write it down. When you start to write things, they take a different form. And it puts you in a position where it becomes more real to you. And you're able
That's why journaling is very helpful, and is usually suggested a lot when people are in counseling sessions or coaching sessions, as well as creating a gratitude journal. Both of those things really are, or can be, I should say, instrumental in a person moving beyond their challenges.
So what would you say for the people that are locked in the houses right now? This would be a great time for them to be taking the opportunity to enter into their deep thoughts and write them down into a journal and write their story, because many of them have stories to share.
Yeah, well, I say this. I know everyone is not going to be an author, but I think it's still good that you should write your thoughts out, or you should write things that are on your mind, whether it's a goal list, whether it's a journal list. If you can't do the goal or the journal list, consider a gratitude journal.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be a journal, just a list maybe. What is it that you're grateful for? Because think about this. There are thousands of people dying in the midst of COVID-19.
Right.
But you're still here. I'm still here. Many of our loved ones are still here. What is it that you can be grateful for that others don't have a choice to be grateful for? Think about those things. Write them down. And maybe meditate or pray to the fact that that thing that you just wrote is something that you can appreciate. See, the ones that are gone, they're not here. They can't appreciate anything. They're on the other side. But you can still you're still in a better place as far as living in the here and now, and you still have an opportunity of doing whatever you may want to do.
That's powerful. That's powerful. Again, to the listeners, what I tell you, I appreciate you joining in, and I have some other guests that I'm going to have coming on as well. But what's really important is that we understand that we are trying to move in a direction to be better and to serve a purpose. When I say people to people, people are like Sir Charles. People are like myself. People are like those who are listening. When we come together and we share this information, what is it? It's power. that power that we possess, and it becomes amazing when we start to see ourselves moving forward. I don't have nothing against, I keep it real, so sometimes I have to talk as a black man, and I'll say some things and it kind of sound a little racist, but I don't mean no disrespect to nobody, because again, I have a lot of white friends that are amazing, and they have helped me. I'll tell a story about a white man that did something for me that changed my life forever. Not today, but I'm going to share that story because it's something really, really powerful that needs to be told. But what I want to say for the black community, let us not be stuck into this mind frame where we can't do better. Charles, you are a witness to the fact when you said that you did the drugs and you lived that type of life, but look at you now. Look at you, got 5 books. I mean, you're a motivational speaker. You're a very productive individual for society. That's an amazing story, and that's proof that you can turn a negative into a positive.
Yeah, man. Don't take one of my books from me. I got 7 books. That's 5-7, man.
Oh, okay. I know that's right.
No, but you know, honestly, it's not about. It's not about the number. It's not about the different accolades or the things, and as far as I guess in the showing way, it's about the fact that we all still have the ability or the capability of creating that shift. We all have the opportunity of really turning the corner, but the thing is, as easy as it is, it's still going to take some sweat equity. So what I usually tell people that if you really want to do something that either you've never done or something that you consider significant, first of all, you got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And in my book, Radiate the Brain and Change the Game, I talk about the first step. It's called reality. And the reality is that you are where you are. That's the first thing. You have to realize where you are. You got to realize who you are and what you're truly capable of. Before you try to become this grand multi-level marketer or Bitcoin or, whatever business owner, is that your skill set? Is that your genuine interest? Or are you just chasing money?
Right.
Because if you're just chasing money, I can guarantee you may not last more than 6 months to a year. So you have to be real with yourself. What did God put into you before the very foundation of the earth? There's something that you have that you can do that you're not tapping into, or that you're afraid to tap into, or you just don't realize it. But whatever that thing is, that's the direction that you should be looking in. See, here's a 2-part question for your audience. What is the thing that you talk about more than anything else? And when you talk about it, you light up inside. An actual smile may even come to your face. Whatever that answer is, I promise you, whatever that answer is, you may have just met your purpose.
I would say that to myself, that on many days prior to me coming and sitting down and doing live talk, I start to get nervous and excited, and sometimes I start to question myself, why do I do this? But I get a joy out of knowing that I'm helping people, and that I'm opening the doors for people to get some exposure. Because once I actually come out of this situation with this COVID virus situation, I am going to continue to do production and give opportunity for young actors, writers, singers, dancers to get some exposure through our production. Which I have some individuals that I work with. One is Darlene Smith, who's one of my partners in our production, Praise Storm. But I also have the production, Photo Time and Production, and also Submerge. And I'm just excited because I know that I get a joy out of doing these things, because I know I'm going to be an easy access for people to get exposure, and they can follow their dreams. And you said, when you talk about it and you smile about it, then you know you're on the right track. And that's what I do when I do live talk. I just smile and I be happy, and I get tickled because I know that I'm doing something that's made for me and this is what God want me to do. Not for the money, because I don't get paid. I mean, this costs me. It costs me a lot of time, and then when I do these events, they don't even know that it costs me. I be spending anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000, $8,000. I put on one event that I spent over $40,000 at the Showplace Arena. It was called the DMV Best of the Best. I did that in 2009, and all of this was for me to give people opportunity to get some exposure. So with that said, I am so proud and thankful that we had this opportunity to talk, because people should know, if you have a drug problem, that's a problem you have, but a problem you can correct. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'll say this. I mean, if anyone has a challenge that they're trying to get over or come over, especially if it's in the area of substance abuse, I really believe that if there's something I could do, please let me know. I'm right here on Facebook like many of the rest of us. But, I think these resources can be very instrumental. I put a couple of links on your page so they can go to them.
Okay.
But there's another thing I want to say. Just because you have a passion for something and you may start out doing it for free, don't think or feel that you always need to do that thing for free. There's nothing wrong with you taking a gift that was given to you and monetizing it and earning your living off of that. Look, you have to be real with yourself. We have to earn a living. We have to keep the lights on.
Yes.
We have to have our phone bills. And there's nothing wrong. If you can make a little bit or a lot of money, there's nothing wrong with that. That's called being smart, being educated, being insightful, being resourceful. Never feel sad or shy about putting yourself out there to do something and to earn money from it. Just structure it in a way where everything is above board and that you're being honest with people. That's the biggest thing.
Yes. Hey, I appreciate that, and with my listeners, know that I would like for you to, anybody who feels that they want to contribute to Real Talk, I would appreciate it. Again, I do this because I enjoy doing it. I love helping people, but I do know when I was at this location doing live talk, I was paying a certain amount of money every month just to be there for 1 hour and a half. That was costing me a bit of money, and a lot of people didn't know that, and they probably was thinking, oh, okay, well, he just want to get seen or whatever the case may be. But no, my intent was to follow my dream to continue to help people, and I'm glad that you said that, and I'm not ashamed to ask people to help. That's what helps us move forward. Tyler Perry is a prime example. I always bring him up. I know because I've read a lot of information about him, his struggles and how he did things. Hold on just for a minute. I want to take time to I had some new listeners. Let me grab my glasses here again. Let me see. We have Joe Gray, Ariva Evans. Hey, Ariva, how you doing, sweetie? I appreciate you continuing to show support. Morris, Regina Pope, and Ja. Oh, yeah, Ja Bala. Hey, that's my man, Ja. I know you, my brother. Peace and love, man. I'm glad you joined in. So, hey, Charles. So again, with everything before I kind of sign off, because I try not to be on too long. I just want you to take a couple of minutes to inspire some people and give them something that they should take to better their lives so that they'll be able to feel good about themselves.
Oh, absolutely. And if there are any questions, whether it's here in real time or in the replay or broadcast, I will definitely be more than glad to respond to any questions to not just help the program, but to help those who have a question or they're interested in whatever aspect of the inquiry. What I could share is that this is a good time for a couple of things. It's a good time for reflection. It's a good time to start a business, as crazy as that might seem. That doesn't mean that throw down $500 to $1,000 or whatever amount of money and start a business. No, what it means is, as you reflect, think about again, what is that magic question? I ask a question that's a two-part question. What is the thing that you talk about more than anything else? And when you talk about it, you light up inside. So think about what that could be. And normally when I'm doing talks, I'll ask that of the audience, and I give an example. I say, well, let's take a team, for example. If you were to go to play on a basketball team, football team, whatever it may be, and you go to the coach and you say, I want to try out, and the coach says, oh, no, the roster is full. We've got enough players. What do? A lot of times people say, I'll try for another team. I said, okay, suppose that team has got a full roster. Now what do? I'll try out next year. Okay, what happens when next year if they say the same thing? Now their eyes start to roll up in their head because they're trying to think of what they could do. I'll start my own team, not realizing the investment needed for a team. I said, what if you can't do that? They kind of get stuck, and I understand, and that's what the question is designed to do. Not to get you stuck, but to get you really thinking. And that's what reflection is about.
Yes.
To get you really thinking about what you can do.
Yes.
So in the example that I gave with the team, what's wrong with being a coach's assistant? What's wrong with trying to be an assistant coach? What's wrong with trying to be a mascot? What's wrong with trying to be a sports therapist? What's wrong with trying to be a sports journalist? That's 5 other opportunities that keep you in the game. Not on the court, not on the field, but in the game.
Yes.
And if you get a chance to play that next season, you have a different perspective of the entire game because you've already approached the game from one of those 5 different positions. You see, when you're a player, your sole focus is on the field or on the court. And yes, there is strategy and things of that nature. But as a wise man once told me, it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. So you have to keep yourself in the game. And you have to use any time you have as a time for reflection. Sit still. Be quiet. Allow what's for you sometimes to simply come to you. You see, when you're out there trying to make something happen, trying to put it down, trying to make it work, trying to make it do what it do, sometimes you're missing because you're too busy. Be still. Reflect.
That's powerful. You know, and I'm glad you said that. That's for people who are starting their business or starting to become authors and writers, want to be actors, want to be dancers, whatever it is. Sometimes you just got to sit back and then just really, really absorb it and then know that this is really what you want to do. Get the information, start to do some background checking on some of the things and see. I think about Michael Jackson a lot of times. We saw Michael Jackson became one of the most powerful performers in the world at one time. And I listened to him in an interview when he was saying he studied like James Brown and Charlie Wilson and those that was before him. And he took a little bit from there, a little bit here, and he put it all together, and he developed his own little craft. And so, with a lot of people who are starting their business and starting different programs and trying to follow their dreams, one advice I would tell them is this: remember, the wheel has already been invented. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just try to get it where it rides a little bit smoother, where the road just a little bit smoother. You can come up with that little flavor.
And see, another thing, if you're looking to do something that you're not doing now, this is the thing you want to consider. Just consider. Because I don't like to tell people what they should do, what they're supposed to do. I really find it better when the person comes to the decision on their own. Mm-hmm. But listen to someone whose voice really resonates with you. Their style resonates with you. You know, whether it's appearance, the dress style, speaking style, strategy style, or all of the above. That person, you probably will get more from them than you would just taking a stab in the dark. That's why I always say, one of my catchphrases, you got to radiate the brain and change the game. See, the cure for your life starts with you, but the right mindset is all you need.
Well, my brother, Sir Charles, I appreciate you. Thank you for joining in with me. I want to bring in another one of my guests, and I hope this won't be just the first nor the last time that I'll be able to bring you back on. When I can get you in live, I'm going to definitely reach out to you.
You got it. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, and give out a number that they may contact you.
Okay, I did put a link on the on the page, but you can contact me at SirCharlesCareyInc.com, or you can contact me directly 301-254-2275. I'll put that in the feed as well.
I appreciate it so much. God bless you, my brother. And believe it or not, I mean, I'm hoping that I will have an opportunity to really sit down and learn something from you, because I am a thief in the night. I tell people straight up, but I'm not going to rob you for nothing that's going to hurt you. I'm going to rob you for some of that wisdom that's going to help me to be a better person that I can help others.
There you go.
Thank you, my brother. God bless you, and peace and blessings to you.
Thank you. Radiate the brain. Change the game.
That was amazing. I just enjoyed that. The brother stimulated a lot of thoughts in my head, and I was trying not to. I didn't want to overtalk him because it was just bells going on. What I want to tell a lot of people out there: look, follow your dreams. Look, if you got problems, yo, you can fix them. And it's nothing. What I do know, and I believe this. I believe that when we come together as a people, and we work together, that's when we can see the difference. People to people. Listen to what I'm telling you. The more you help me to build, the better it is for all of us. If you have something, then send it to me. Send it to me so we can talk about it. Let me see. Who else we have here? Joyce Major. That's actually Pastor Joyce Major. Theodore Price, one of my childhood buddies I grew up with. Was this Andrea Kelly? Wanda Berry, homegirl, mad love to you. I appreciate everybody that's been joining in. I'm getting ready to bring on another one of my guests. Now, this what I'm telling you is this. I bring these individuals on because I want you to hear their stories. I want you to know that they have a lot to offer you, and it's going to help you to follow your dreams because they are just like us. And if we continue to do this, we'll see a big difference. And, you know, anything that you conceive in your mind, if you keep believing in it and you keep saying it, Ellen, I'm looking for you. Oprah, come on, call me. Tyler Perry, yo, bro, we got some work to do. You know, eventually, somehow or another, it's God's will. You can will it into your existence. And that's why I do the shouts out to them, because I definitely believe in my heart that one day I'm gonna have that opportunity with one of them. I don't know how, but I just feel like it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna continue to move forward and do so. Do I have who is this now? Makita. Okay, Makita, how you doing, my love? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
That's Makita Henderson, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now. And I'm gonna need you to speak up a little bit because we kind of like we doing this on that low budget where we talking on the phones and stuff like that. So, so you're an author as well, correct?
Yes, I am.
And how many books have you written?
I've written about 4 so far. I've only published 2. Working on publishing the other 2.
Okay. And do you find that to be a challenge for you, or is it something that comes easy?
It's relatively easy. I started writing as stress relief, and a few people just started telling me I was good at it. So I decided to continue.
So, you know, one of the things that I think that helps a lot of people when people do write is that it all depends on what you're writing about, but sometimes people have the same experiences that you have, but they don't know how to put it down on paper. So when we have individuals like yourself who will take the opportunity to share and write and produce a book, that's a blessing for some people that they'll be able to now express themselves because they didn't know how to do it the way that you do. So what are your books about?
The first book is a self-help book. It's Christian-based. It's called The New Mind, Mental and Emotional Healing Throughout Seasons of Change. And that book is basically about changing your thought process from negative to positive.
How about that? I love that. Negative. My grandmother used to always say you can take a negative and turn to a positive. I always use that as a little slogan. I keep, take a negative and turn to a positive. I'm not being funny, though. You sound young. How old? I mean, and you don't have to give. You don't have to give your exact age, but reason why I'm saying that because I want young people to know that they can do this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
right.
So when did you start writing? Let me ask that question.
I've been writing since high school, but I didn't really get serious about it until after I finished my undergrad degree.
Okay, that's so cool.
I had to do a lot of writing for school. My degree is in psychology, so I had, all these thoughts about behavior that I needed to get out on paper. So I started writing more with that.
So what would be a suggestion for anybody that's out there that's writing? What would you suggest to them?
Know your audience is the biggest thing for me because even being a Christian and writing about my Christian beliefs, I sometimes fear that other people who don't have those same beliefs won't want to read what I have to say, even though my story could apply to anyone. Just the same as it's hard to be inclusive of all races because I am a black female. I've been a single mom for a while of 3 kids. So it's hard to not single out people that are like me sometimes, but knowing who my audience is helps me to focus in on how to include everybody.
Yes. That's one of the things that I sometimes sit back and I worry about because I don't want people to assume that I'm just targeting the black race because I'm a black American. But
Right.
I want to make sure that I invite everybody to tune in because I feel like we all are, God's children. And I don't claim to be a Christian or whatever. I don't really get a title on my belief. I just believe in God. I believe the Bible was written by some prophets. I believe that also that some things have been tampered with. I believe that as well. But reason why I say that is that if you are the person that read the Quran, I want to hear from you too because I want to, I want to learn. So reason why I was saying that is that it's kind of hard when you're trying to get that audience and you don't want to push people away because they think that you're not experiencing life from their perspective or you don't have some advice for them because you're not struggling like them. So I thought that was really good just when you said it's good to know your audience.
Yes.
So
That's the big thing for me.
So now, so you said you how many books you said again you have published already?
2.
Okay. And was it hard to get them published?
Well, I did self-publishing because it's a little easier that way to get started until you're recognized by some big people. Sometimes it's easier to promote yourself first.
Okay. Well,
to gain the audience first and then try to publish another way.
Okay. Well, I am so glad that I had this opportunity to talk with you. I want you to continue to publish your books and continue to write. Please put your information on my page so that people will be able to get in contact with you and purchase your books as well. And just know that you make me proud to know that you are doing this and you are setting an example for other people to know that their dreams could come true, that they can become writers and have book published as well. So thank you so much for allowing us to have this opportunity to be with you. Is there anything that you would like to say to our guests that will inspire them to move forward?
I always like to say there's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror, and that's because we're supposed to concentrate on what's ahead of us and not what's behind us. And just whatever you do, don't stop going.
I thank you. God bless you, my love, and you continue to do what you do, and I will talk to you again soon, okay?
Okay, thank you for having me.
You're welcome, welcome. I got to give an applause for that. I thought that was really good. And so I thank everybody that's tuning in and continuously hang with me. I got one more guest I'm getting ready to bring on. I am excited. Listen to what I'm telling you. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. Look, this is what's up. People to people, that's me, you, and them. That was the guests I have that's telling you about their life stories and things that they're doing. They're sharing with you. The power they possess each time that they get something accomplished, that gives them that power to keep feeling positive about themselves and let other people know that if you follow your dreams, they can come true. I keep saying sometimes follow your dreams, but sometimes I say get in front of your dreams and let your dreams follow you so that you can create different avenues for you to go. As Sir Charles said earlier, you know, sometimes you got to sit back and just kind of relax and just kind of, you know, meditate on what's going on around you. Not all the time jump out and try to take the lead. Sometimes you just got to have to follow. Sometimes you're going to have to get on the side and you're going to just have to assist the coach instead of being a player or being the coach. Sometimes you have to be an assistant. So I just say with everyone, God is amazing and I'm so excited. Okay, now I got somebody I'm excited. I am so excited to have this author on with me. I'm going to give you just a little bit of history. I grew up with this young lady, and when I found out that she was writing, I was like, oh my God, this is some real stuff here, because this is what I call a real person. How you doing, Kim?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
We doing well. We blessed by the best.
Hey, that's one good way to be. That's good way to look at it.
How about that? So,
God don't make mistakes.
Not at all, not at all. You being an author and me knowing you personally, you know that I be excited every time I hear that you got another book in the works.
I try to keep something in the shotgun.
I know that's right. So, can you tell me what inspired you to start writing?
Well, I ended up doing drugs and going to jail. And before I actually went to jail, I was trying to help this 15-year-old girl that was strung out on drugs that was selling her body. And I just couldn't understand how a child at 15 years old could be doing that, because when I was 15, I had to travel with my other 8 brothers and sisters. I was never even allowed out by myself, so I just couldn't wrap my mind around that. But at the time, I was going through my own drug addiction, so I ended up going to jail, and while I was locked up, she died.
Oh, my goodness.
And so at that moment, I just asked God, I had never wanted to be a writer. Never had no intention on being a writer. I did 10 years in the military, and I did telecommunications, not writing. And I just asked God, if you get me out of here, I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to save these little kids. We can't let the kids slip through the crack.
And you know, it's certain things that when people say them, it makes me have to again say people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. Let me tell you something. People to people, people like you. People who want to help other people. That's so powerful. And then when you do so, and you're putting this stuff down or showing people that they can change their life and do things, even though they may have a struggle in their life, that's a lot of power to possess. And that's amazing. And then at the same time, where you have these conversations like we're having now, where we are being positive, which puts us in a position to be positive thinking people. I love that, and I just admire you, and I'm so proud of you.
I wrote my first book. I started penning my book while I was in jail because I wanted to do something special for the 15-year-old that died. And I wanted to tell a part of her story and a part of my own story. So I wrote a book called A Girl Called Nikki. And that book just took off. I made $40,000 off that book, and that's all God's doing.
Oh man, that is.
I never
amazing.
had no intentions on writing, but I wanted somebody to hear the story, how this child slid through the crack. And because I knew the child's family and I didn't want to be sued, I couldn't use her name. So I had to tell part of my story too.
Right.
And I come from a very big family. And yes, there was, I was molested as a child. And, you know, I just acted rebellious and I had to join the military to find my way. And then when I got out, I hooked up with the wrong people and I just got in trouble. And by the grace of God, I have 2 kids. My daughter is getting her doctorate in December, and my son works. He has a job where he makes over $45,000 a year. That's nothing I did. I didn't do anything with that. That's all God's doing. I can't even take the credit. Because without God, nothing is possible.
How about that? You know what's really funny? When I hear people who had their struggles, even with myself, I never really was a real serious drug user. I don't know. My father was an alcoholic. And so when I saw him abusing our family and going through that type of stuff, I just kind of didn't like not being in control. But as you know, growing up with me, you know, I used to hang out down at your house sometimes. So, you know what I mean? I know some of your history and you know some of mine. That, you know, I'm just so thankful that God gave me this experience and the experiences that I've had to help me be a much better person today. That's why I'm so proud of you, because I know some of the stuff that you and I was exposed to. We could have went
early on in life.
How about that? When we were real young. That's when we was like 13, 14 years old, right?
Yeah, very early on in life.
Yeah,
you know what's really funny is, now I have 14 books out. I'm working on book 15, and I'm going to shop it to make a movie out of it.
Can I be in
again? Not yet.
Can I be in it?
You know, actually, you know what I want to do? I want to come back to where I came from and give back.
Yeah.
I want to solicit the little kids around here and put them in it.
Well, you know what? I'm hoping when I get the production going like I wanted, I would love for you to sometime just come in and be able to sit down and talk to some of the individuals who are trying to pursue their dreams for the future, and for us to be able to give them an opportunity to hear your story right there firsthand, because that's going to help a lot of us to, you know, show them that they can achieve their goals. So you said how many books you got right now? 14,
and I'm working on 15.
That is so good. That is so good.
That was a dedication that I made. You know, when I asked God to release me from them shackles, I was like, okay, you know, I can't make a promise to God and don't keep it, because you're not supposed to make promises to him. So I just keep an ink pen in my hand. I dream and sleep thinking of what the next chapter going to be. And people has told me, you ain't going to be able to do that. And I'm like, okay, see, I have a lot of determination, and that's whatever is in you, that's what you have to work with. And I'm determined. And so nothing is going to tell me I can't do it.
I like that. That's me. That's what I believe with real talk.
Yeah.
I tell
you got to
people,
believe in yourself.
Yeah, and you know what? You know, today is my mom's birthday, and it was a lot on my spirit, because I was just when I woke up, I said, "Oh my God." You know, I'm just thankful, because I'd be always worried when the phone ring that somebody's going to call me and tell me that something happened to my mom.
Right.
And so my mom turned 89 years old today. And what was the blessing, it's where I'm at right now, that I'm just so thankful, because first of all, I had my family members all come together, and we was just celebrating my mom's birthday. And when I say celebrated, we did it using technology.
Okay.
And it was amazing how we did it. It was just it was a blessing. But I said all that to say that, you know, for each one of us, every day is opportunity for us to be better, for each one of us to follow our dream. And that's why when I was getting ready to do the real talk, I went to my station of meditation and I prayed to God. And that people might notice that I didn't read a scripture today. I didn't read a scripture today because when I opened up the Bible, I didn't hear God talking to me to say to read today. I heard him say, I want you to focus on giving thanks to
Right.
the fact that your mom is still alive and still here with you. I want you to give thanks that you are doing what you're doing for people who do tune in. And I want you to give thanks for your life. And that's what I'm excited about. And then I'm just thankful for having you as a friend and having to meet Sir Charles, Carey, and Makita, who was just on with us. So, Kim, what is it that you would tell some struggling people who are struggling with drugs, addiction, and having abuse going on in their life? What would be something that you would tell them so that they can change their life around so that they can follow their dreams?
Take your drug money and put it in a bank account so you can have something to fall back on. And abuse is never okay. It starts verbal and it becomes physical. So when they first start off verbal, start packing in. Don't even stick around to see the outcome, because the outcome ain't what you there for.
Hey Kim, I already know was one to hang around for no drama, so I already
I'm a straight shooter. I'm all those names, baby. I see you on the next life, because I'm packing. I'm getting up out of this one, because a lot of us stay because you think it's love and you think things are going to turn around. This behavior that is being displayed is behavior that he has already practiced, so he's good at it. So I don't need to see what the outcome is. I grew up in an abusive household.
And hold on. Somebody just put something on there saying happy birthday. They sent a happy birthday out to my mom. I can see it. And I really thank you for that. But my mom that's my baby. That's my queen. And I'm so glad that, we had the opportunity to tell her how much we loved her today. That was just amazing. Tomorrow's one of my sister's birthday as well. My sister, she's my my sister-in-law, the mother of my nephew, but she's my sister because she's been helped raising me since I was 9 years old, and I love her. Her name is Carolyn Evans. Tomorrow is her birthday. But I want to go back again and tell you that I'm so proud of you, Kim. I am so proud of you because I know that you had a lot to deal with. I remember y'all was living on Cameron Street, right? Or Queen Street. Yeah, it was Queen, and we be sitting up in there. And your mom, she used to allow us to be there, not for any selfish reason other than to keep us out of trouble.
Right.
You remember that? She would let us all pile up in there, and it was
all the neighborhood kids.
Yes. So what I'm gonna do, hey Kim, I tried not to go too long, and I don't went over my time. But what I want to say to all my callers and listeners, I just appreciate everybody, all the birthday wishes for my mom. Kim, you and I, we're gonna have to do this again because we got a lot to talk about. I just want to say thank you to Sir Charles Curry, Maquita Henderson, and Miss Kim Thornton. Y'all are amazing individuals. Y'all are inspiration to me, and I want you to know that I love you. And if you can, on my page, go ahead and give them the information on how to get your books, how to purchase them, and just, continue to give me some support. And everybody know this. It's real talk. People to people, power to power, power to people. Hey, this is what we do. Hey, Kim, I'm going to call you and we're going to talk a little more, okay?
All right. Thanks for having me.
Okay, darling. I love you.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so everybody know this. Yo, it's real talk. This is what we do. The gentleman said something, and I'm going to bring this up. I definitely need your support because we're trying to move forward. There's a lot going on, and I'm going to show you as we grow together. So if you want to contribute, feel free to do so. All I can do is tell you this, that when you do it, you're going to see that you're sowing into something that's going to grow. And so that's something very, very special. Again, thank you everyone who sent birthday wishes out to my mother. And remember this, hey, if you put God first, you're going to win every time. And also, I want you to remember how to say this, people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. Because guess what? That's going to help you when you know that people to people is me, you, and them, and we help support one another. And power to power, The power you give me and the power I give you is the power we share together, and then we become positive thinking people. This is Rodney Grimes, keeping it real. I love you. Hang in there, because we going to do this.